Hello everyone, thank you for being here. We are from Group 1. Before we do the explanation about our topic, let me introduce our group members. Our group members consist of 4 students, and the first one is me, Arika Sari, the second one is Emelda Fasya, the third one is Galuh Puri, and the last one is Hairul. Okay, let me start. Our topic is about pre-service education for primary school English teachers in Indonesia, policy implications, and the issue is improve the quality of English teachers as a basis for developing English language teaching at primary level in Indonesia. And the point that we will explain in this workshop is the first one is the background of the study, introduction, literature review, research questions, research methodology, finding, discussion, conclusion, and implications, and how the study may contribute to the body of knowledge on that particular topic. And the last one is conclusion and recommendation. Okay, I will explain about the background of the study. Although English is only an extracurricular subject at primary level in Indonesia, expectations over the improved quality of the teachers are exceptionally high. And this is the case in the past few years, in which the low proficiency of primary English teachers and their lack of teaching competencies have repeatedly been pointed out as major constraints. This paper gets data from teachers, language teachers, educators, primary school principals, members of educational boards, and the educational consultants. The data were analyzed using grounded theory in order to examine the adequacy of pre-service education in Indonesia to prepare primary school English teachers, as well as factors that contribute to its efficacy or lack thereof. And the introduction about this topic is development determining a status alteration for English language in Indonesia at primary level from a local content to an extracurricular context. This means the teaching of English under the new curriculum 2013 is given outside school hours, and the subject is not part of school final exam years. This is a Sahirudin 2013. This status alteration, however, does not demote the requirements related to teachers' qualifications. Section 1.b of the Decree of Minister of National Education and Section 1.b of the Decree of Minister of National Education Republic of Indonesia number 16, 2007 on standards of teachers' academic qualifications and competence, and Chapter 29 of the Government Law of Republik Indonesia number 20, 2005 on National Standard on Education from Department Pendidikan Nasional 2006 and 2007 are retained. As a consequence, teachers of English at primary level are required to possess an undergraduate degree from a pre-service institution in order to fully implement the curriculum at primary level. Effort to increase the qualification of English teachers to meet the minimum requirements are evident. And the proliferation of English department that offer English young learners as an elective unit within their curriculum in indicative of such aspiration, said Saukah 2009. And nevertheless, expectation over the unchanged quality of English teacher at primary level remains exceptionally high over the past few years, especially because of the low proficiency of teachers and their lack of teaching competencies, said Asrianti, Siki Rahmat, Hamra, and Nomi in 2013. One thing that is unclear, however, is whether this overwhelming issue is attributed to the delivery of pre-service educational in preparing primary school English teachers. This paper investigates the efficacy of pre-service education in the professional preparation of primary school English teachers. It also examines the factors that contribute to such efficacy or lack thereof. The structure of the paper is as follows. First, it reviews relevant literature on teachers and pre-service education for English teachers at primary level in Indonesia. And the second is the methodological tenet employed for connecting and analyzing data are discussed. A section on the finding of the research appear after that and followed by a discussion section. And the next, my friend Hairul will explain the next material.
Okay, thank you, Arika. In literature review, there are many points that discussed in this part. The first one is teacher without English background, and then teacher with English background. Then the last is what can pre-service education do? So English, as we know in Indonesia, English is currently an extracurricular subject at primary level. So according to Satono 2007, said that proponents of early English instruction in Indonesia argued that the teaching of English in secondary schools had been considered a failure. Therefore, it is expected that early English instruction would contribute to advancing students' overall language competence. To carry out English pedagogy in these primary schools, there are more than 47,000 primary schools English teachers appointed, of whom more than 41,000 teach in the public primary schools, whereas more than 6,000 teach in the private ones. According to the Kementerian Pendidikan Nasional data, the teachers teach English only as opposite to the 1 billion point or 427 classroom teachers, the majority of which are assigned by their school's principals to teach English in addition to the compulsory subjects such as Indonesian language and science. Based on James 2011, he categorized the teachers who teach English at primary level into two major categories on the basis of the prior educational background at pre-service level. The first one is teachers without English background. Teacher without English background that no prior English background are those who did not undertake a major in English during their reservist teachers education. They come from three poles of the education system. The first one is SPG or Sekolah Pendidikan Guru, Schools for Teacher Education, and the second one is PGSD or Pendidikan Guru Sekolah Dasar, or Primary School Teacher Education, and then the last one is General Undergraduate Programs such as Physics, Mathematics, Biology, and among others. That the other subjects that like physics, mathematics, biology, in the teacher without English background, they tends to be a English teacher in the classroom for the elementary schools or junior high schools. And then, although they might have acquired knowledge and skills related to young learners, pedagogy, classroom pedagogy, theories of teaching, educational philosophies, teaching practicum, and learning assessment, PGSD graduates' exposure to English is limited. The reason is because they only learn a unit called English for university students, which is taught for 2 until 4 credit points, um, 100 to 200 minutes per week, in order to provide them with some general English preparation. Suyanto, 2010. Whereas teachers with English background at primary level with English background are those who undertook a major in an English related field during their pre-service education. According to Saukah 2009 stated that the establishment of the consecutive system within higher education in Indonesia allows student teachers to plan their study in 2 modes. The first mode is students may attend the English language education program in which they decide to become English teacher right from the beginning. In other words, prospective student teachers have already decided to become English teachers by the time they're enrolled in English language education program. The program is generally offered in the institution of education and teacher education or Lembaga Pendidikan Tenaga Keguruan Henceforth LPTK. According to Saukah 2009, those who graduate from this program are offered with a Bachelor of Education in English Language. Teachers graduating from the English Language Education program will have acquired English language proficiency, knowledge and skills related to curriculum, syllabus, language testing and assessment, teaching methodologies, teaching skills, and materials development. Depending on the emphasis of the curriculum, some English language education program offer EYL, English for young learners, while others do not. The second mode is the one that allows students to attend the English study program. The program is a 4-year undergraduate degree consisting of 146 credit points and offers its graduates Bachelor of Arts in English. They are concentration in the English study program vary between one university and another, but the most prominent ones are the first is linguistics, the second one is English literature, and the last one is translation. So the next one is what can pre-service education do? The main issue with primary schools English teaching, like it has ever been, is the huge shortage of competent and qualified English teachers. By Luciana 2006, Satono 2007, Suyanto 2010. But the extent to which such a grim picture is attributed to the delivery of either in service or pre-service education or both remains unknown. As a consequence, calls for studies on language teacher education for primary schools English teacher have been made. Kojijah 2007, 2008.8, Satono 2007. While based on Zain's 2012B responded to the calls by conducting a study on policy recommendation for language teacher education for English teachers at primary level. No studies, however, have been specifically focused on pre-service education. The study was carried out in order to fill in the gap. It is the aim of this paper to investigate whether or not the pre-service education system in Indonesia has been adequate to prepare the teachers to teach English at primary level. According to Zain's 2012A, page 6, page 85 to 86, said that the continuously increasing advocacy for a policy on education primary schools, school English teachers cannot be fully understood without an adequate framework of the various contexts in which the policy is situated. The next part will be explained by Galuh Puri. Sorry, Galuh.
Okay, thank you, Hairul and everyone. Before I continue with the research methodology, I would like to mention about research question. From the article, we find that two of research question. The first one is, do you find pre-service education adequate to prepare teachers to teach English at primary level? And the second one is, what factors contribute to the efficacy of pre-service education or lack thereof? The answer of these questions will be explained on the part of findings and will be concluded on the part of conclusion. I will continue with research methodology. Uh, Research methodology consists of 3 points. The first point is about participants that have 24 respondents. The second is instruments of the study in semi-structured interviews. And the last one is data analysis grounded theory. I would like to explain about participants. 24 respondents participants in this study. They spread across 5 groups, namely teachers, language teachers, educators, members of an education board, primary school principals, and educational consultants. The 13 teachers participating in this study were from 7 provinces in Indonesia, namely Banten, DKI Jakarta, Central Java, East Java, Bali, West Nusa Tenggara, and North Sulawesi. They were selected based on the type of school and location in order to ensure reasonable representation. 5 teachers were from private schools, 5 were from public schools, and 3 were from national standard public schools. And for the instrument of the study, in semi-structured interviews, participants were asked the following question. The question is, the first question is, do you find pre-service education adequate to prepare teachers to teach English at primary level? And the second is, what factors contribute to efficiency of pre-service education or lack thereof? And about the data analysis, the data collected from these participants were analyzed by using grounded theory. Meticulous reading of the interview transcription was undertaken. In doing so, initial codes were identified by selecting appropriate keywords and associated to open up data from Birks and Mills 2011, page 95. These keywords were then entered into a computer-assisted qualitative data analysis software, or CDQDAS, or NVivo9, in order to help facilitate data management and analysis. Data from NVivo9 resulted in initial codes, which were then classified in a process called focus coding. When certain subcategories became identifiable within the data, they were then put under scrutiny during the process of theoretical coding in order to identify core categories, or theoretical coding from day 2004. These were Asia Pacific Journal of Education 1235, downloaded by Dr. Subhan Zein at 2011 to April 2016, triangulated with the memos that were written during the process of data analysis from Birks and Mills 2011. The next explanation will be explained with Emelda.
Okay, thank you Galuh Puri and everyone. I will explain about findings. There are several findings that we have had found in the article. The first one is the inadequacy of pre-service education. According to EC1, there are 2 approaches currently in use in pre-service education to produce English teachers at primary level. The first approach is English department, which focus on English, and the second approach is PGSD, which focus on several different subjects, EC1. The data in Table 1 shows that most participants were dissatisfied with pre-service education in preparing the teachers to teach in primary schools from both approaches. They point out that their pre-service education did not well prepare them to successfully teach English at primary level. And the second one is the lack of specificity of English departments. Table 2 shows that the inadequacy of pre-service education to help prepare English teachers at primary level was distinctively characterized by lack of specificity of English departments. They point out that their pre-service education was not adequate as it did not specifically prepare them to successfully teach English at primary level. The lack of specificity of English departments here is not exclusive to the English language education program but also includes the English study program, because the teachers who state their dissatisfaction above graduated from these two streams of English departments. The findings also show that English programs place a large emphasis on the theoretical aspect of teachings. And then the lack of specificity of PGSD. Table 3 shows that PGSD is not specific to prepare teachers of English to teach in primary schools. Participants argued that PGSD is not adequately specific in preparing student teachers to successfully teach English in primary schools because graduates of PGSD are prepared to become classroom teachers. LTE 3 to teach various subjects and not a particular subject or English. Easy 2. Relying on PGSD to produce English teachers has been reapproached by three groups of participants, namely PSET, LTE, and EC, because it does not provide sufficient input on English, is not aimed to teach English, and is actually aimed to teach other subjects. And the next one is the lack of quality of teacher educators in English departments. Table 4 demonstrated that the inadequacy of pre-service training is distinctively marked by the lack of quality of teacher educators. LTE1 argued that there are many old-fashioned lecturers whose teaching practice are in contradiction to what they prescribe. LTE3 further asserted that the lecture should become a model, but unfortunately, many lecturers teach but do not give examples to the students' teachers. LTE4 further point out that often teacher educators do not have sufficient exposure to classroom practice. This is evident in the following. So many lecturers in English departments in Indonesia have no exposure to the classroom practice, and therefore it is very hard for them to give inspiration, to give ideas to the teachers, to the candidate teachers on how to actually handle the class. So I guess the failure of teacher training in our context is because the lecturers have to call themselves trainers instead of showing, while in primary schools, teachers are demanded to be very practical and become a strong model, LTE4. And the last one is overhaul of pre-service education. Table 5 includes quotes relating to the necessity to develop an overhaul of pre-service teacher education to prepare teachers of English at primary level. For PSET1, an overhaul is vital for the presence of a pre-service education that caters for the needs of the teachers and takes into account the situation of primary schools in Indonesia. PSET1. Participants stated that reform on the pre-service teacher education is necessary to help prepare student teachers with the demands of their vocation. They highlighted the importance of having a master plan for redesigning the pre-service teacher education to provide adequate preparation for teachers of English at primary level. And the next will be explained by Galuh Puri. Galuh Puri, Time is yours.
Thank you, Emelda. Okay, everyone, I will continue with the discussion. The discussion of these findings considering on the fact that primary school English teaching in Indonesia has not been considered exceptionally successful, and this response is considered reasonable to argue that such a situation is mainly associated with the minimum preparation given to prospective teachers. The findings, therefore, are critical to the current preserved system for English teachers at primary level. And the next is about how the study may contribute to the body of knowledge on that particular topic. In our opinion, studies can contribute to knowledge of the topic by providing a practical component in the English department that is necessary to help prepare student teachers to teach English at primary level. And the last part will be explained by Arika Sari.
Okay, thank you, Galuh. I will explain about conclusion and recommendation. Our conclusion is to answer the QR1 and QR2 based on the findings on the article. The decision of the findings explain that pre-service education that pre-service education is inadequacy to prepare teachers to teach English at the primary level. Because based on the article, even in English education, the department that over EYL, there is no guarantee that the allocation of 2 to 4 credits point EYL will be able to cope with the increasing demand for teaching English in primary school. And policy implications arising from such inadequacy. First, the fact that TGSD has been argued not an ideal avenue for those who are interested in primary school English teaching. Is, however, not an excuse to exclude it from the equation. And the second is teacher educators pre-service level must be given considerable proficiency in exposure to young learners' pedagogy. Thank you.